Hello, everyone. Welcome to Celsius 233, your go-to place for fiction book summaries. Today we will lose ourselves in Desert Gold by Zane Grey. Desert Gold is a 1913 Western novel by Zane Grey, a prolific American author known for his vivid depictions of the American frontier. The novel, set against the harsh, wild landscape of the Arizona-Mexico border during the Mexican Revolution, blends romance, adventure, and the spirit of the Old West. It captures the struggle between good and evil, lawlessness, and the redemptive power of love amidst the brutality of the desert. Plot summary. Under the scorching sun of the Arizona-Mexico border, Richard Gale arrives in the dusty town of Casita, a man disillusioned with life. After leaving behind his privileged but directionless existence in the East, he seeks adventure and perhaps redemption in the tumultuous lands of the West. The Mexican Revolution has turned the region into a perilous land of shifting allegiances, where bandits roam and violence simmers just beneath the surface. It is here that Gale's fate intertwines with a young cavalry officer, George Thorne, and the woman who will change both their lives forever, Mercedes Castenda. Mercedes, the daughter of a noble Spanish family, has fled her homeland, pursued by the notorious bandit Rojas. He is a man feared and admired in equal measure, known for his ruthless abductions and his penchant for taking what he desires, especially women. Mercedes, disguised as a nun, has narrowly escaped his grasp, but her safety is precarious, as Rojas and his men are relentless in their pursuit, driven by lust and power. Thorne, who has fallen deeply in love with Mercedes, risks everything to protect her. Bound by duty to his uniform, yet driven by a more personal mission to save her, he confides in Gale, seeking his help. When Gale first meets Mercedes, the intensity of her beauty and her courage strikes him. She is no fragile damsel, but a woman fighting for her life and her freedom. Her plight stirs something deep within Gale, a dormant sense of purpose awakens in him. Together with Thorne, he vows to protect her from the encroaching danger. But the situation is dire. Rojas has arrived in Casita with his gang of rebels, laying a quiet siege to the town. The lawless desert offers little refuge, and the trio knows that their escape must be swift and cunning. As night falls, Gale devises a plan. He will create a diversion, drawing Rojas and his men into the saloon where they gather. Under the cover of chaos, Thorne and Mercedes will slip away into the dark streets and flee the town. The plan is fraught with danger, but it is their only chance. Gale enters the saloon, his heart pounding with anticipation. He knows he must act quickly and decisively. With a sudden, reckless energy, he instigates a fight, catching Rojas and his men off guard. The saloon erupts in violence as Gale barrels through, fists flying and tables crashing. The commotion spills out into the streets, and just as planned, Rojas's men rush to the scene, leaving the path open for Thorne and Mercedes. The lovers flee into the night, racing through the dark alleys of Casita, hearts pounding as they head toward the open desert. Gale, bloodied and bruised, escapes the chaos and joins them. Together, they make their way into the wilderness, where the vast, unforgiving landscape becomes both their refuge and their greatest challenge. They know that Rojas will not stop until he finds them, and the desert, with its blistering heat and treacherous terrain, will test their strength and resolve. For days, they travel deeper into the desert, seeking the safety of the United States Cavalry post at Yuma. The sun beats down mercilessly, and water becomes scarce. Gale and Thorne take turns scouting ahead, their bodies weary but their spirits unbroken. Mercedes, though physically frail, shows remarkable resilience, her determination to survive fueling their efforts. Gale, once a man adrift, finds himself transformed by the raw demands of survival. He feels a growing bond with both Mercedes and Thorne, a camaraderie forged in the fires of hardship. But the desert is not their only enemy. Rojas, driven by his obsession with Mercedes, is not far behind. His men, accustomed to the harsh conditions of the borderlands, close in on the fugitives. One night, as they rest in the shadow of a towering mesa, Gale spots movement in the distance, the flicker of a campfire, the unmistakable sound of horses. Rojas has found them. With no choice but to fight, Gale and Thorne prepare for the inevitable showdown. They have the advantage of higher ground, but Rojas's men outnumber them. As dawn breaks, the attack comes swiftly and brutally. Shots ring out across the desert, echoing against the rocks. Gale, armed with a rifle, picks off the bandits with precise shots, while Thorne, his military training evident, leads the defense. Mercedes watches from behind a boulder, her heart in her throat, praying for their survival. The battle rages as the sun climbs higher, casting long shadows over the canyon. Rojas himself charges up the slope, a grim, vengeful figure determined to take Mercedes by force. But Gale stands in his way. In a final, desperate confrontation, the two men clash. Rojas, wild-eyed and savage, lunges at Gale with a knife, but Gale, quicker and stronger, wrests the weapon from him and delivers a fatal blow. Rojas falls, his reign of terror over. The dust settles and the silence of the desert returns. The few remaining bandits flee, leaving their fallen leader behind. Gale, breathing hard, looks down at Rojas's lifeless body, feeling a strange mix of triumph and sorrow. The danger has passed, but the cost of survival weighs heavily on them all. Thorne embraces Mercedes, both of them shaken but relieved to be alive. With Rojas dead and his men scattered, the path to safety is clear. They continue their journey through the desert, finally reaching the United States Cavalry outpost where Thorne is stationed. There, amid the rugged beauty of the frontier, Gale reflects on the journey that has changed him forever. The man who arrived in Casita, aimless and lost, has found a new sense of purpose, forged in the heat of the desert and the bonds of friendship and love. The desert, harsh and unforgiving, has tested them all, but it has also given them the strength to endure. As they stand on the edge of the border, looking out over the vast expanse of land that once seemed so daunting, they know that they have survived not just the perils of the wilderness, but the darkness within themselves. And in that survival, they have found something far more precious than gold, hope, love, and redemption. If you loved this, don't stop here. Check out other books by Zane Grey. You'll find them below or on Celsius 233. Remember, while our summaries capture the essence, they can never replace the full experience of reading the book. If this summary intrigued you, consider diving into the complete story, buy the book, and immerse yourself in Zane Grey's original work. Bye-bye, take care, have fun.